Hi everyone, welcome back for those of you who have been on the earlier sessions. Um, I am your host for this session. My name's David Evans, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm Jadu's Vice President. I've got Sarah Lemon on the call with me as well. Say hello.
Hi guys.
Sarah. Excellent. Sarah's Operations Manager, going to be managing the chat, and we'll collate those at the end. So today's session is about two-way integration with the Jadu Continuum platform. So if you're a confirmed customer, this is going to be great, and it's going to be equally great if you're not a confirmed customer. So if you're not a confirmed customer, think about it as an example of what you can do with the Jadu platform. We've got, same as the previous sessions, the Jadu Twitter account is @Jadu. The hashtag for the day is Jadu Academy, and we've got that prize to be won for the best tweet. There'll be a recording of this session which will be made available afterwards. And as per the previous sessions, there's the chat window on the right-hand side. Please feel free to ask the questions throughout as we go. We'll collate those at the end, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A session at the end of the session. Conscious we do have one or two on the call that are reasonably new to Jadu, and I'm not sure whether you're in the sessions previously anyway, so I'll give you a bit of an overview, a quick overview of the Jadu platform. So all of you will be using the CMS. I think almost all of you are using XFP, our forms product. The part of the platform that we're focused on today is that third layer, Jadu CXM. So just so the rest of the session kind of makes sense, we're going to play a quick video. It's about 2 minutes 40 odd seconds, and it's an introduction to CXM. So what you'll get a kind of a decent base of an understanding as to what CXM is, and then we can go on and we can show you the integration with Confirm.
Managing customer expectations by keeping them informed and up to date in real time, along with a grand plan of consolidating out-of-control back-office systems into one single platform, giving you complete business oversight, may seem frankly just a little daunting. But with Jadu CXM, we can start you down the path of having customers effectively self-serve, to connect them to the right people by digitizing services and collecting the right data for business decisions. Imagine a consistent experience for your service teams, vendors, and customers that improves efficiencies and reduces costs, whilst automating repetitive tasks and giving everyone a single customer view. So, what makes Jadu CXM different from other solutions? Well, there's the easy-to-use case timeline, which provides a single view of interactions and transactions and brings transparency to customer, staff, and vendors. All the details, conversations, data and documents are available in real time when they're needed. And how about those powerful integrations? Bringing those fragmented back-end systems together into one single platform. The flexibility of this low-code platform allows you to spin up your digital services quickly. Jadu CXM uses rich APIs, webhooks, and core integrations, so different apps and third-party services can be easily connected, and importantly, new digital services can be quickly rolled out. Effective innovation relies on good data. Having accessible, meaningful, real-time information is fundamental to digitizing services using AI and RPA. That data drives real-time decision-making. Put simply, Jadu CXM is data transfer gold, with integrations, webhooks, reporting, and authentication. Interactions and transactions are updated in real time, and internal process workflows ensure a single source of truth for evidence-based decision-making. Solve business problems easily and launch digital services quickly, reuse them for other services, and make them shareable with others. And as it's cloud-based, it's highly resilient and it's always switched on. Jadu CXM, connecting people, data, and solutions now and into the future.
And then again, if you're not familiar with Jadu, we are a leader in local government, both here in Australia and in the UK. We're present in other markets as well, the US primarily, but that's mostly higher education. Okay, with that kind of intro out of the way, we've got a bit of a poll. We're going to have one poll in this session, and I'm just interested to see whether there's any Confirm users on the call today. If not, again, it's not an issue. Just wondering whether we do have anyone using Confirm for asset management. I'll give you a few seconds and let that poll run a little bit longer. Okay, doesn't look like we have a Confirm user on the phone on this presentation. That's fine. They're one of the market leaders in the Australian market. But as I said at the intro, there are some broad principles that we'll cover off in this session that even if you're not a Confirm customer, there'll be, I think, a lot of benefit in this session. Okay. So just to kind of start off with, there's some kind of key points that I want to start with. The first is that this is an example of two-way integration and the importance of that. So one of the things we found, obviously Jadu's an open platform. We have APIs that are available. With Confirm, we found a partner that was just as open to working with us as we were to them. And that's not always the case. There are technology vendors who have a different business model, whereby they're pretty much a closed shop, and they push you towards buying their other parts of their product suite in order to have something that talks to each other. So they're not really open to third parties. That's not the way that we operate, and it's no criticism of those companies. There's many successful companies that have been built on that business model. But one of the things we found around working with Confirm was that they were open, and what we're trying to do is literally talk to each other from a technical point of view when it comes to APIs, but often that requires the two companies actually talking to each other physically, and Confirm were really great in that regard. In terms of what we're trying to achieve, this integration was developed primarily, initially with Birmingham City Council, and we talk about them in a minute. As with all of our integrations, really, we lead the integration with a particular customer, and we develop that with them to start with, just so we make sure that it's not a theoretical exercise. It's actually built around genuine customer demand and need. So the goals really are to reduce call volumes by automating interaction and improving that customer experience. Giving the customer a better experience when they're engaging with your organization, and in the back office to eliminate rekeying. So that's broadly what we're trying to achieve with the two-way integration, and that would be true of any system that we're integrating with, not just Confirm. So to illustrate this, I've got three customer examples from the UK market that I'm going to use in this session. Now, I thought I'd just give you a kind of an overview of their resident population to give you an idea of the size of the organisation. I guess in an Australian context, these would be certainly Gloucestershire County Council and Birmingham City Council, very large. I mean, Birmingham City Council would be on par with Brisbane City Council in terms of size. They're the largest local authority in Europe. And then Swindon at the smaller end of this scale, but certainly quite a large customer for us. It tends to be the larger organisations that want to push the boundaries when it comes to integration, because they have, if you've got a process that isn't really working, and you try and scale that, which you have to do if you're a larger organisation, you quickly find that it's a real problem, and you work hard to solve that problem. So in a sense, these customers are, I guess, pioneering these integrations, but of course, once developed, all of our customer base benefit. So as I mentioned, Birmingham, largest local authority in Europe. I'll give you a bit of an overview of Birmingham. We'll focus mainly on them, and then I'll bring in Gloucestershire and Swindon at the end with a couple of interesting examples of innovation that they've used. So we developed their site using Jadu CMS back in 2016, 2017, and in 2017 we won a bunch of awards, including a Webby and a Lovey Award. They're really interesting. I got to visit them back in October, about a year ago, and they are an amazing organisation in the sense of their scale. So they take 2 million phone contacts per year. They have 2 customer contact centres, 200 staff in each, and they are located kind of across town from each other. So they've got full kind of DR and business continuity with that setup. 67,000 of those contacts each year are in the highways team. So these are people calling up about road defects, potholes, that kind of thing. So one of the things, obviously, for them, they looked at what are our top requests that are coming into council, and those are going to be the ones that we want to target first. Now, Socotum, a few years ago, they're a UK association for professionals in the public sector, and they published some really interesting analysis on what the transactional costs were, and I've converted these into Aussie dollars just to kind of help make sense of it. But you can see a face-to-face transaction costs a significant amount when you compare it to a phone conversation, and then a phone conversation looks really expensive when you compare it to a web transaction. So with councils under pressure, with budgets under pressure, and looking for efficiencies, it's pretty clear where you want to have the bulk of your transactions happening. Of course, the other side of this, which is a lot more difficult to measure, is the cost to deliver those transactions. So if you've got something where the data has been captured on the web, then you can do smart things with that data when you're pushing it around within the organisation, and your cost to deliver that against that transaction is much lower. So in terms of the size of the prize for Birmingham, with this particular service type, there was a potential $320,000 per annum saving by targeting those phone transactions and moving those onto the web. But it was more than just a cost-saving exercise for the council. They were really laser focused on how they could better serve their customer. They have like a customer panel. They have like I think it's about 100 residents that they choose from, and they run all of their services past them before they launch any new digital service. So they're very much customer focused, and at the end of the day, the customer is the ultimate arbiter in terms of whether a service has been successfully delivered or not. What I want to do now is just show you what the experience was like prior to the integration. So I will just share my screen with you. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, so just make sure I'm still logged in. Brilliant. Okay, so this is the Confirm Asset Management console. This is just a demonstration site that they've set up for me. And what I'll do is I'll just find an inquiry that I can have a look here, and we'll just use as an example. Okay, so here I have this has got some dummy data in it, a case that's been created in Confirm. So this is what would be used by the highways team at Birmingham City Council to manage road defects. So somebody reports a pothole, it needs to be logged in here, and then it's managed in here through to completion. Now, our integration with Confirm doesn't actually change any of what happens in here. Confirm is a world-class asset management system. That's where those cases are managed. The integration doesn't change that. But if I go and I'm going to edit this a minute. So all of this data that gets put in here. Actually, just cancel that for a minute. All of this data has to be manually entered. This pre-integration has to be manually entered. So somebody calls up, they come into council, they send an email, whatever it might be. This had to be manually keyed into confirm. And then I'd go in as the highways team member, and I'd say, you know, I'd add a note or I'd update the status of the inquiry. None of those pre-integration, none of those updates actually reached the customer. They just sat in confirm. So it was great from a you know, the highways team knew what was happening with a complaint, but the customer didn't. So what did the customer do? The customer would call in, what's happening, what's going on, I don't know what's happening, and it creates a lot of unnecessary contact. So I'll just stop sharing that and go back to the presentation. So that's where we got around the table with Birmingham City Council and with Confirm, and we put our heads together and thought about how can we use Jadu CXM in order to avoid the rekeying of data into Confirm, number one, but then number two, push updates back out to the customer in real time so they know what's happening with their inquiry. So I'll just play this. I've done a quick demo that shows you this, and I'm just going to play that now. Hopefully the video quality is okay. If not, I'll restart it. It's just, it seems in uploading it to this platform that the video suffered a little bit, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so on the left-hand side, I have the front end of our demonstration site, and this is where I'm going to raise a case as a citizen in just a moment. And then on the right-hand side, I have a staff view as a logged-in user within CXM, and I've got the street scene case types all lined up, ready to view. So what will happen is once the case is raised on the left, you'll see that on the right. So we'll go ahead and raise a case. First thing to note is I've decided to do this as a logged-in user. You can do it either way, but I've got my citizen user is logged in to their Jadu My account, and they can view a history of their payments and cases. So I'm going to go ahead and raise a case, and I'm going to use a Jadu XFP form in order to report a pothole. Okay, so the first thing you notice is that all of my personal details have been pre-filled from the Jadu My account setting or page, and that's all done using a pre-fill within XFP. I'm going to use my current location, specify where the pothole is, and I'm just going to add a quick description. Upload a file, and I'll review all my information for submission. Submit the form. Now I'll get a link. I've configured this so that within the information it displays upon submission of the form, there's a link to the corresponding case in CXM. So I can go and I can view that case. It's just been created. And I get a fairly limited view based on the permissions I've been granted as a member of public accessing this system. If I go onto the right-hand side, I just refresh my page, you'll see that I have the same case but within a staff view. Now if I click on that, I've got the same form metadata that's been passed through, but I've also got some other things. So there's been the case status has changed according to some workflow rules we've got configured. I can also see that there's a person alert, so you can set alerts according to the person, or and have those appear at the top of the case related to those people or to that person. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click to view the inquiry within Pitney Bowes, because what's happened here is at the same time that XFP has triggered a case to be created within CXM, CXM has gone and created a case within Confirm. I should say it's precisely Confirm, not Pitney Bowes. So if I click on there, I can see I'm now in Confirm, and all of the information has been pre-filled, and this is a demo account, has been pre-filled in Confirm. I can go in and I can edit it. So let's say that the crews have gone out and repaired the pothole. Where are we? Status, there we go. I'm going to say that the inquiry is closed, and I'm going to add a note. Save that. And then what will happen is that the case timeline, if we go back to the case timeline, will automatically be updated by Confirm using the two-way integration. And there we go. You can see that a note has been added. So that's the note that I added in Confirm, and that's been mapped across the CXM. There's also a workflow rule which is triggered, which changes the status of the case. And you can see that that's been closed automatically as a result of having been closed in Confirm. And then on the left-hand side, you can see that the customer's received an update, and I've also got a rule configured here to send them an email, but that could also be done as an SMS, so that they're updated in real time when the case has been resolved. How that works. I just wanted to, before we wrap up for Q&A, I just wanted to give a couple of examples, other examples. So the first one is Gloucestershire County Council. They've got a really nice map here, which I'll share my screen and give you the live view. So just do that now. So this is Gloucestershire County Council. It's powered by Jadu CMS. So this is just a page on the CMS with an embedded map. If I zoom in, hopefully you can see that okay. I can toggle, I might just turn the closed ones off, so I just view the open ones. And these are all of the street scene cases that have been reported and their locations. So they're transferred onto the map from Confirm, and you can see the details of the pothole. And this is obviously helpful if you're wanting to report an issue. It'd be great to be able to show the customer if somebody's already reported that. Now, taking it a step further, what we've done on our demo site, which we haven't implemented with Gloucestershire yet, but so this is the same principle. We've got the map, the cases on a map, but this time if I click on the case, I get the case reference, and I can add my email address and sign up to receive alerts related to the pothole. So what this is doing is just preventing people from reporting the same issue over and over again. It also means that if they can see an issue having been raised already, they can subscribe and receive updates, and those updates can be via email or SMS pushed out to them when the issue is resolved. Back to the presentation. And then the other one I wanted to show you was Swindon. So I've got a video to play you. They're doing, I really like what Swindon are doing. They've got innovation on a number of fronts, and apologies we weren't able to, they were sort of a last minute scratching for today. But I'll show you this video and I'll talk you through. So if we play this, there's no audio as far as I'm aware. So I'll just talk through this. So what this is a camera mounted in the cab of a rubbish truck, I think. And as it goes along, it's got some software that's able to recognize the potholes that it's picking up as it drives along. Now, each time it detects a pothole, it will log that, it'll raise a case in CXM, and then that CXM case will then raise a case and confirm for the highways team. So this is Swindon experimenting with a way of, rather than customers picking up on the fault in the road and raising a complaint, what would it be like if we could actually pick up on some of these before the customer even raised the complaint? So I was getting ahead of those customer complaints. Yeah, I think you get the idea. So I'll stop that there. Oh, sorry. Okay, so on the left-hand side, there we go. Okay, and I think we'll do the Q&A now. So Sarah, I don't know if you want to, we've got the, and thanks Sarah, we've actually got the Swindon case study. So although we don't have Swindon talking today, if you do want to find out more about what Swindon are doing, and they've done digital transformation across a whole raft of services within council, I encourage you to take a look.
Brilliant. So thanks, David.
Hey.
Okay, so we've got a few questions. So Kylie from Logan has asked, can you please, can you use the location services, i.e. map, in XFP, or is it just CXM?
Yes, you can. Yes, so there's a map component within XFP.
Great, thank you. Okay, David has asked, are there any customers in Australia currently using CXM to integrate with other LOB systems?
Not yet. We've got a couple of proof of concepts in the works. One of them is finished. I haven't sought permission from that particular customer to talk about it today. We started working with them on that last year, from memory. I guess the thing about CXM is that it doesn't have to, but generally relies on having the CMS and XFP in place. And a lot of our customers in Australia have only just got to that point. If you look across what are we now, close to 50 customers in Australia, most of those have joined us in the last couple of years. So not yet.
Right, that's great. I mean, really it's about harnessing the forms with case management. So as you said, yeah, a lot of the people that we are working with at the moment are really at the start or in the middle of that journey. So that's great. Sal from Redland is asking, can you update or close an issue on Confirm via CXM?
You probably could if we'd done the integration that way. We haven't done the integration that way because the way that the customers we work with when we develop the integration, they probably quite rightly want to continue to use Confirm as their sort of single source of truth for asset management. So CXM could do that, but we've not built the integration in that way.
Okay, thanks. Just a couple more now. We've got David has asked, is the mapping functionality from CXM, or is it using an embedded element, something from a GIS system, for example?
So the map you saw on the form was just the XFP map component. Those maps that you saw on the map on Gloucestershire County Council's site, I think, is an embedded GIS map. That's not so it's the map from the GIS system. So I don't know if that answers your question, David, hopefully.
I'll let David reply back. Yep, thumbs up. Okay, cool.
Okay, great.
All right, we have got the next question. Okay, so just a couple more. So from David again, are there any UK councils working with smart water meters and CXM?
Oh, that's a good question. I would have to find out. I don't know off the top of my head.
We can find out and then we can get back to you, David.
Yeah, I'd be really interested, maybe as a follow-up, Sarah, if we can maybe chat with David, and just I'd be very interested as to what his line of thinking is there. That sounds really interesting.
Okay.
So we'll take that offline.
No worries. Okay, so Kylie's asked, does it meet AA compliance? So 2.1 AA compliance for accessibility.
Sure does. Yep. We've got a legislative requirement in the UK that all of our software is WCAG 2.1 AA compliant. So yes, and that's probably quite different to some of the systems you're using at the moment from a customer service standpoint. I'm not referring to Kylie and specifically. I just mean probably everyone on the call.
Cool. Kylie's got big thumbs up for that. Nathan from Cardinia has asked, did discouraging multiple users from submitting the same pothole complaint affect how they prioritize the complaints? I.e., did they use to informally prioritize potholes based on the number of complaints, but now they rely more on the objective measures? Gosh, you might need to reread that one. That's a.
I think I know what you're saying, cool. Nathan. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it was primarily around, the point of that is primarily around reducing unnecessary, duplication of contact for the council. But that's an interesting way of looking at it. Do they then use it as a way of prioritising? I don't know, but we'll ask the question.
Yeah, we can get back to Nathan on that one. Okay, so Sal has asked, are there any examples where CXM has been integrated into their CRM?
Are there any? So with Birmingham, for example, they were using SAP for the CRM. Now they removed the SAP CRM component and replaced it with Jadu CXM. And typically that's what customers have done. Birmingham, for example, will still use SAP in other areas. So I think their finance team use SAP, and it's probably a few other areas of the business that use it. There's no reason why you can't do that. But what we've found is that the customers have implemented it because there's such a cost saving by implementing CXM, and they're looking for cost savings. They typically will remove the customer service component of their CRM platform and use CXM. But there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't run the two in parallel.
So I'll finish answering that. We're running over a little bit, but that's all cool. So Sal said that's all good. Just one last question. So from David, just wanted to confirm, in the UK, has there been a trend to use CXM as their core CRM?
Yeah, there has, and I was really because you can use CXM in a lot of different ways. So in North America, for example, it's used very much as workflow for forms. So universities will have some fairly complex processes that happen after a form is submitted, and they use it very much just as workflow for forms. But in the UK, when I was there in October and we did a tour of the customer base, I kind of knew that it was being pretty heavily used. What I hadn't really appreciated was that entire contact centres are running on CXM. So right from where you arrive at the front desk and you're interacting with staff, they're using CXM. You go upstairs. As in the case of Birmingham, there's 200 staff on the phones using CXM. There's another 200 across town. So yes, I guess I was just surprised, given it's quite a new product for us. So probably only been in the market for 4 or 5 years, and it's really taken off.
Brilliant, thank you. Just got a couple of links at the end here now. So through the session, there was a request by people whether they could have access to the video. So I'm just going to add that on now. So it's available on YouTube. So you can sort of click off to that link, and then you can bookmark that. I'm also just going to share with you some further information for the CXM product. And I'll add both of those links to the chat as well, in case something's going awry with what we're doing here. But I'll add both of those links in so you can access those. So I think that's where we're going to end now, David. Thank you very much for that. We've got a session following this with Bundaberg Regional Council. So those of whom are here are joining us for that. We'll see you there. So that's in about 10 minutes time. All right. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.